Hello everyone and welcome to Merlin's Manor. Today I'm going to be teaching how to play the solo mode of Red Rising, as well as doing a playthrough of the game. So first of all I want to start with the setup, and the first thing you're going to do is take these cards here and you're going to shuffle those up and put one on each of these. And these are going to determine where Au Toma puts cards and takes cards up from, as well as the bonus areas that Au Toma will get. And what you do next is you will look at this card here, and you see that Luna is on B, and so you're going to look at where B goes, and that's going to be to C. And so C is the Jupiter track, and so what you're going to do there is you're going to then make the bonus for Luna Jupiter, and you're going to put that right there so that you know, remember that the bonus is for Jupiter, and that is how you set that up. If it had been A, you would have gone with whatever's on D. If it had been C, you would have gone with whatever's on B. If it had been D, you would have gone with whatever's on A. And so that's how that's set up. It's a little difficult maybe to figure that out at first, and so hopefully I explained that well. Now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to set up the Luna token there. You're going to put both of your things on the fleet track. And for a two-player or solo game, you're going to put 3 cubes on the Institute of a different color. This is to motivate you to want to go after the Institute more, to get at least 3 cubes on there, because first place gets 4 points per cube, second place gets 2 points per cube, and everyone else gets 1 point per cube. And so in a 2-player game, this is to motivate you to get more on there, to get more points per cube. And the same goes for solo mode, because solo is basically like a 2-player mode, but you're playing against the Au Toma. You're also going to set up this right here, so you have the helium ready to go, and the dice is going to be nearby. You're going to have your Institute cubes near you, and I like to keep Au Toma's Institute cubes near the Au Toma. You need to remove these cards from the game: Loan Shark, Psychologist, Auctioneer, and Rogue. Now there is on the back of the instructions a way that you can add some of these back in order to make them work. And so if you want to follow those variants, you can. You will find those on the back right here, and you can read those for yourself and see what you need to do in order to make those work. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to deal out cards to each area, 2 to each column here. And at any time you can look at what these different cards do, both in solo and in regular mode. And then you're also going to deal 2 cards to Au Toma and 5 cards to yourself. Now Au Toma's cards that are there aren't going to do a whole lot at first. You may, if you ever get something that causes Au Toma to lose a card, you'll take 1 from the bottom of Au Toma's cards. Otherwise, these are just going to be there for endgame scoring. Now, the way the endgame scoring is going to work for Au Toma is Au Toma is going to go ahead and get points for the cards that, for 20 cards that Au Toma has. And as we finish up the setup here, we're going to look and see if there's more odd or more even cards on the board right now. And we'll see there is 1, 2, 3, 4 even cards, and 1, 2, 3, 4 odd cards, which in this case, then we would go with evens because the tiebreaker is even, and of course zeros would be also considered evens for doing this. If there had been more odds, then we would have gone with odd, or more even, we go with even. And so we're just going to put this under the board here, actually. Normally I put it over there, but I want to get the camera angles good here. So I'm going to put it over here. It's going to remind us that Au Toma is going after even cards. And so what this means basically at the end of the game, Au Toma is going to take 20 cards and is going to prioritize any that are even. And so if there were 20 even cards, Au Toma would keep all 20 evens. If there were 16, she would keep 16 of the evens and then 4 of the odds. And even cards are going to be worth 6 points apiece for Au Toma, and the odd cards are only going to be worth 3 points apiece. Of course, if it was the other way around, then it would have been switched. Beforehand, I went ahead and shuffled these and got Diana. Diana is the one that whenever you gain the Sovereign token, you will get to place 1 influence on the Institute. And like I said earlier, Au Toma's bonus is going to be able to move up 1 on the Jupiter track. And let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and get into this game. Now each of these cards has different things that they do when you deploy them, and you'll find that in this section right here is going to tell you what happens when you deploy it. For instance, this card says, move a red or brown from any location to under this card. You may gain that card. If you do, end your turn. And then also on this card, you're going to get victory points at the end of the game that are base victory points. Down here at the bottom, sometimes you'll have end game action. Like right there, you have one that says, you may treat this card as if it is any one other color in addition to gray. And so when you see that little symbol right there, that means it's an end game action. And down here at the bottom, you have bonus points at the end of the game if you satisfy that condition. In this case, it is for each red and brown on all locations, and that's referring to locations in here. Gets 5 points for each of those. And so here's one when an opponent tries to steal or banish your cards. You reveal this to block them. Toma's not going to be doing that, and so that's not going to be something that you need to worry about in this mode, but in multiplayer, that could be very helpful. This one, you move the top card from another location to under this card. And then if it's a white, you can gain it, which that's a way to get an extra card. So you'll have more than 5 cards at the end of the game if you manage to pull that off. And then here we have, you may gain a gray from this location as its deployability. If you do, you end your turn. And then you also treat this at the end, all the oranges at the end of the game you treat as any specific character that you want them to be. And then this one here, if you have the Sovereign token, then you can place 1 influence on the Institute as its deployability. And it's going to be worth 19 at the end of the game, or 21 additional points if you don't have the Sovereign token. So those are the cards that I have going for me. I'm going to go ahead and get started on here. So the first thing, I'm going to take my turn. I'm going to look here to see what card I want to play down. Usually you like to play cards for their ability, but sometimes you just want to get them out of your hand. So let's see what I want to do here. He's worth more points if he's with an Obsidian or Mustang. I don't have that going for me yet. Mustang's here. That may be a good call for me to go after Mustang because she matches up well with Paxo Telemanis. I don't have really a good one to deploy for its ability right now, though. Now I'm going to try and block evens as best I can. I'm going to go ahead and just deploy that one. I'm not doing it for its deployability. I just don't necessarily want it at this point, and there's nothing that I can use for its deployability effectively right now. Anyway, right now, I'm going to pick up from here, and because I picked up from the Mars area, I go ahead and get 1 helium. Whichever one you pick up from, that one you are going to gain its bonus. Here at Jupiter track, you'll go up 1 here if you were to grab from the Jupiter track. If you were to grab from the Luna track, you would take the Sovereign token and you would get your bonus, which in my case is to put 1 on the Influence track. Or if you were to take from the Institute, you would put 1 on the Influence track for taking that one. So moving on to Au Toma's turn. And here we see the top one is where Au Toma is going to play a card to, which is A in this case. The next one here is where Au Toma will take a card from, and it can be from the same place for the Au Toma. You cannot take from the same place that you deploy to, but Au Toma can. And so they'll be taking from C, and then because there's a star here, it'll get the bonus from that area. Oh, but I forgot one thing. Actually, the first 4 cards are supposed to be gotten rid of from the top of this deck. And so actually I'm going to do that first. And so this is actually going to be the card that we're going to be using here. In this case, we are going to put 1 down from the top of the deck on C. And then it's going to be picking up from the Mars. If you see that symbol there is the Mars area. And so that one's a 20-point card, which means it's an even, which is going to help Au Toma out because Au Toma will get 6 points for that card. And then the star is on the bottom there, so Au Toma is going to get the bonus for Mars, which is helium. And what I like to do when I put these cards out is I put them, because Au Toma is going to get 2 cards per round, I go ahead and put them in one place. And here we're going to put on the Institute, or sorry, we're going to put a card on the Institute. And then we are going to pick up from Mars. But since there's nothing on Mars, this arrow here, we follow the arrow here on the card and come over here and pick up this card. If the arrow had been pointing the other way, we would have gone that direction. And then if there wasn't anything here, we would have wrapped around back to the Institute. But there was something here, so that Au Toma got that card. And then Au Toma is going to get the bonus again here, so I'm going to move Au Toma's up on the Jupiter track. And then I push these up after I've done the 2, so that I know I've done both of them. This way, sometimes I would forget if I had done 1 or 2. Now I can see, oh, I've only done 1, do another one, and then I can move that up. So that's a good way to make sure you don't get confused there and forget whether you've done 1 or 2 cards that round. Now moving on to my turn. And nothing really good came out of that. So I think I'm going to try and get me the Sovereign token so I can maybe do something with this guy later. But prior to that, I'm just going to have to put a card down. It's not really going to do me any good again. I'm going to put Ugly Dan on Mars. And I'm going to pick up here so I get the Sovereign token. And because I did that, I, as my power, put 1 on the Institute. Again, that's Diana's power. Each power does a different thing. And that ends my turn, and on to Au Toma's turn. Au Toma is going to deploy to D and pick up from C. Picking up from C moves down the Jupiter track yet again. And there's no bonus on this card, as you can see, and so nothing will happen there. Oh, sorry, so it won't move down the Jupiter track. I messed that one up already. Okay. Moving on to the next one. It's going to be putting 1 on the Jupiter track. And then picking up from A. And then this time they just get the bonus, which is helium. And then we move those on to there and move on to our turn. Since I currently have the Sovereign token, I'm going to take advantage of placing this. I can put him wherever I want to. I think I actually might put him on the Institute, and the reason I'm putting him on the Institute is going to block Au Toma from being able to get a 16 card. Unless I want that. Do I want? Actually, no, I'm not going to do that because I actually want that card. Just go ahead and put the order on Mars. And I'm going to pick up this card from the Institute. And so I got 1 on the Institute for playing him. And I get 1 on the Institute for picking up from the Institute. Now back on to Au Toma's turn. And by the way, before I move on any further, let me just let you know, if any time you don't want to grab from down here, you can grab from the top of the deck and roll this dice here, and it will do different things. If you get this, it means you are able to place a card from the top of the deck somewhere of your choice, but you don't get to deploy it, you're just placing it on that location, so you don't get any bonus from it. This means you take the Institute bonus. This means you get to banish the top card of a location. This means you get the Luna token, the Sovereign token, and you get to take your bonus from there. This means you get helium, and this means you move up 1 on the Jupiter track. Okay, so deploying to A, deploying to Mars, but then picking up from A, which is Mars. And then gets the bonus from Mars, so another helium. And the next card doesn't have a bonus. I'm going to put a card on C, and pick up from D, but no bonus. And that ends Au Toma's turn. Back to me. Oh, move the top card from another location under this card. If it's white, gain it. So, I am going to put her on D. Right. And then I can move this card from another location under here. And since it's white, I can then gain it. And I still haven't finished my turn though, because this isn't one that tells you to finish your turn at that point. So now I've gotten an extra card in my hand. And I'm going to go ahead and for the first time, I'm going to go ahead and take one from the top here. And I got Severo. I'm going to roll this dice. I got the helium, so I get to take one helium. And that ends my turn. Toma's turn now is going to go after, he's going to put something on A. And then pick up from Mars, so it's going to pick up right from where, put that down. Not taking a bonus. And then the next one is going to place on the Jupiter track. And then pick up from B, which is here. Because she picked up from the Luna, Au Toma will get the Sovereign token, which is worth 10 points at the end of the game. And then get the Jupiter bonus, like that. Now it's up to my turn. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and play this guy here. Banish the top non-gold card from any other location. Actually, no, I'm not going to put it there. I'm going to put it on B. And so I'm going to banish this card. So you just start a banish pile off to the side. And because I did that, and it's not a gray or an obsidian, I get a helium. And I'm going to pick her up from the Institute, and because I picked her up from the Institute, I get to put one of those there. Now it's Au Toma's turn. Playing on D. And then picking up from the Institute, so we're going to immediately get that card. And gets the bonus, so there we go. Next one there. Going to be playing to C. Picking up from B. And then this symbol here, this little X on the bottom down there, means that Au Toma will be discarding, banishing the card from the top of the deck. Then we move on to our turn. Yeah, I don't really know what I want to do right now, so I'm going to go ahead and take the scout option, which means I move the card to a location that I want to. And I'm going to put it there so I can get the Luna bonus, which means I get that, plus I get to put one on the Institute. Now we go on to Au Toma's turn. I'm going to place one on A. We're getting a lot of white cards coming out now, which works well with her ability. And then going to grab up from Luna, so one of them just disappeared. And doesn't get the bonus, but instead gets to eliminate the card from the top of the deck there. Wow. All those are together. And then for the second card, putting one on B. And then getting the one from Luna. And in this case, getting the Luna bonus. I was hoping to keep that token. I did not manage to, though. I'm going to put her here. I'm going to move the top card, the Priestess, here and gain it. And then I'm going to go ahead and gain Octavia and come up one on the fleet track. Putting one on Luna. Picking up from A, but cannot, so we're going to come to the right here. Pick up that one. And it's going to get the bonus. Already has that, but still gets to put Still gets to go up one there. I think I forgot to put that up one last time it did that, so there we go. And then placing on A again, picking up from the Jupiter track, and no bonus. Okay, real quick, gonna look at my cards here, see what works well together currently. Currently, I have Octavia, who wants to have either the Sovereign token or Lysander. I don't have Lysander. I may or may not wind up with a Sovereign token in the end, but I do have an orange that allows me to name this orange Lysander. And so I can do that to cover that. And then also, I have Pax or Telemanus, which goes well with Mustang because he wants either an Obsidian or Mustang. Mustang gives me 5 for each different color. I've got orange, gold, white, so I don't have a lot of variety yet. I may want to strive for some variety. I want to get her back because she's good with a white, and I have 2 whites right now. If with only cards that have core values of less than 20 is what she wants. Oh, everybody but Octavia. I may not want Octavia in the end then, now that I noticed that. Because everybody else is, oh no, at least 20 points. Oh, well that's not good. She's not going to get me any bonus points at the end, so I may be getting rid of her at some point. And actually, this may be a good time to work towards that. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this card because it's an even number, and I'm trying to keep Au Toma from getting even numbers. So I'm going to banish the card directly under this one. If I reveal the Howlers, I can instead gain that card, but I don't have the Howlers. So that's banished. And then I'm going to pick up the conversation list again. Since I picked it up from Luna, I get this, and I get to put 1 on the Institute. Now it's Au Toma's turn. I'm hoping she doesn't steal that from me, but we'll see what happens. Places 1 on Mars, and then picks up from D, and gains the bonus from D. And then is going to be deploying to A and then picking up from A and banishing that card. So I have the Sovereign token right now. So I can put this guy down to add an influence. Oh no, I want to use this one. If you have the Sovereign token, you advance 1 on the fleet track. So I will deploy her. I'm going to deploy her too. I'm going to deploy her on Mars since there's already a 20 there, unless I want Tactus. Do I want Tactus? So this one says you may steal 1 card from an opponent. They choose the card, but in this case you'd actually go with the bottom card. If you do, banish Tactus and end your turn. I don't really want his ability right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and place her there. Since I have the Sovereign token, I advance 1 on the fleet track. Did that and I didn't know who I wanted to get. I don't think I want to get anybody, so I'm going to roll the dice and take from the top. And because I rolled that, my bonus is basically to flip this over and put it somewhere. Ew. Okay, this guy allows you to move a card with an even core value from this location to the top of another location. That could be good if you want to get that card and it's buried somewhere. How's that card doing? Okay. Placing on B, picking up from the Jupiter track and getting the bonus. And then here we got placing on B, picking up from the Institute, not getting the bonus though. And now we get to the bottom of the deck. We go ahead and we put the 4 cards we took out earlier with the rest of the deck, and we give that a shuffle. back. So this guy, at the end of the game, if you have the Sovereign token, you get to gain 1 card of your choice from Luna. Doesn't look like that's going to work out too well. So I'm not going to be worried about grabbing him up. Okay, so I'm going to use the Musician. I will put him on top of, I'm on top of there, I guess. And then he move a card with an even core value from this location. Oh, never mind. I'm going to put him there then on Luna. And then move Darrow out from there to the Institute. Pick Darrow up. Place an influence on the Institute. And then if I have 7 more cards, he's going to be worth 40 points, which I already have 7 cards. Now we got placing on D, picking up from C, no bonus. Placing on B, picking up from B, gaining the bonus. Now the end game is triggered when one of 2 things happens. Either one person has gotten 7 on 2 of the 3 different things. We had the Jupiter track, 7 helium, and 7 on the Institute. So 2 out of those 3 would trigger the end game if one person got them. Or if all 3 things have been gotten between the 2 of us, then it will trigger the end game. Right now, Au Toma's getting close there. I'm getting close there, but nobody's really close on helium, and nobody's really close on 2 things yet. Oh, this one gains a banished card. I may not want to hold on to Mustang. Keep in mind, if you have more than 7 cards, you're going to lose 10 points, but you will hopefully gain more than 10 points for those extra cards. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and scout again. I'm going to scout to Jupiter because I want to get some points for Jupiter. Oh, wait. I mean, I want to scout this one to Jupiter because it's an even number, and we got lots of evens out there already. This guy gives 3 for each of your influence tokens on the Institute at the end of the game, which that may be valuable for me. Put it on the Institute and see what happens. Okay, now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 7 now there. Next thing I get up to 7 will trigger the end game. Going to place on the Institute and pick up from C. And going to get the bonus from C. And now we've got the Jupiter track, and the Institute has 7 on it. If somebody gets up to 7 helium, that will trigger the end of the game. Moving to A, picking up from here, and banishing a card. Yeah, let's go ahead and do another scout action. So I'll place that there and get the bonus. Placing on B. And picking up from there and getting that. And placing on there. Picking up from A. Getting the bonus. That was not what I wanted to happen. Let's go ahead and do this again, shall we? Oh, I forgot to do that last time. Okay. Now let's see what happens again. Going to place 1 on Mars. He's going to pick up from A and get that bonus. And then place 1 on Jupiter. Pick up from A again and get the bonus. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to put that there. I now will get this card. There's not a banished red, so he doesn't get those points. The sovereign token gain the bottom card on Luna. And since that wasn't a gold, he gets banished. I'm going to pick her up. No, picked her up. Yeah, move Jupiter. Okay, going to A. Picking up from C. Can't pick up from C, so we're going to come back over here to A. And getting the bonus. 2, 4, 6, 7. That's going to trigger the end game, but Au Toma will do one last card. Putting it out on Jupiter. And picking up from B. And getting the sovereign token. Terrible luck for me there at the end. But things may work themselves out. So I don't get his bonus at the end. If you have the sovereign token, gain 1 card of your choice from Luna. I don't know who it would have been even. Maybe reveal 2 goals if you have the influence of the institute or tied from the. He would have been worth 30. Would have been worth getting. But I can't activate that because I don't have the sovereign token. This person says I can banish 1. Oh, sorry, no, wait. Oh, you just gained 1 banished gold. So I'm going to come in here and gain Octavia back. See if I can push these all down now. So these are all the cards I have to calculate up. Now here's the way you score for yourself. You go ahead and you look at the top. Add up all the top ones. I actually go by card and just add up all the points. And you also add up the bottom of the ones that you're able to get. So Pax Au Toma is worth 15 points plus 20 if he's with Obsidian or Mustang, and I still have Mustang. So he's going to be worth a total of 35 points for me. This guy is worth 16 plus 14 if he's with a gold or a gray. He's with plenty of golds. So he's going to be worth 30 points. This one here is worth 19 points plus 21 if I don't have the sovereign token, which I don't. So he's going to be worth 40 points. Mustang is going to be worth 20 points plus 5 for each different color that I have. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different colors. So she's going to be worth 50 points. Darrow is worth 10 points plus 30 if I have 7 or more cards, which I do. So he's going to be worth 40 points. The Conversationalist is worth 15 points plus another 15 if with a white. I have at least 1 white, so that's 30 points there. This guy is worth 15 points. This person's worth 0 plus 5 for each gold, so 5, 10, 15. And so, because I lose 10 points, she really kind of was worth 5 points. But I did also get this guy back, which was worth 30 points, so she really did help me out a lot. It was well worth it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to take 20 points off for these 2 cards here, but I gained 45 from that, so it's well worth it. This guy here, Octavia, is kind of a risk if you're not careful, because he is worth 30 points unless you don't have either the sovereign token or Lysander. And I just lost the Sovereign token. If I was relying on that, this guy would have been worth nothing for me. Actually, he would have been worth negative 10 points because of the fact that I have more than 7 cards. But I have this orange here who allows me to name him anything I want, and I'm going to name him Lysander. And so that allows me to make that worth 30 points. I'm going to go ahead and calculate all this up. Okay, so I got 295 for my cards. I got 10 points for the Jupiter track. I got 3, 6, 9 points for my helium. They're each worth 3. And by the way, the Jupiter track tells you the victory points depending on where you got to on there. I didn't get any points for having the Sovereign token at the end. It would have been worth 10 points, but instead, Au Toma gets 10 points for that. I had the most on the Institute, so I get 4 points for each one. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times 4 is 36. Now, Au Toma is only going to get 1 point for each one, so she only gets 2 points there. Didn't quite make it there, and that's what that's there for, is to keep those that don't make it up there on that. Victory points for these, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. Up here on this track, she gets 34 points for the Jupiter track. And now we figure out her cards. And here's how we figure out Au Toma's cards. I'm just going to get my cards out of the way here. And we're going to separate these into odds and evens. And since evens is what Au Toma is going after, each of the even cards is going to be worth 6 points for Au Toma. We count those up first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So 17 times 6. So he has 102 for that much. And then, since he got 17, again, we're going to count 3 of these, because Au Toma keeps 20 cards at the end. So 3 of these is going to be worth 3 points apiece, 3, 6, 9. So add that to the 102, and we will get 111. So Au Toma gets 111 for cards, based on the normal scoring. So real quick, if we wanted to add this up, and actually I think I'm going to go ahead and give Au Toma a more difficult level. You can choose at the end if you want to see what you would have gotten on higher levels. And I think I'm going to have torn Au Toma up on normal, which I usually would. So normally I would do on a higher level. 295 plus 10 is 305, plus 9 is 314, plus 36 is 320, plus 30 is 350. And then Au Toma got 111, 145, 160, 75, 185, 188. Wow, that's a really low score. Did I mess something up, or? At the back of here we have a table that tells us, right here, if I get too much glare on it, how to scale this up for more difficulty. So for the next level up, which is Lurcher, instead of 6 and 3, it's 8 and 4. The next level up, Master Maker, is 10 and 5, and Carver is 12 and 6, and Peerless Guard is 14 and 7 for the cards that Au Toma would have gotten. And there you have it. That's how you play the solo mode of Red Rising. I hope that I've fully explained everything. If there's anything you have a question about, please leave a comment down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to see more videos. And I'll catch you in the next one.